Hey friends, I want to show you this guitar I picked up a few months ago. It's over 100 years old and it's an old parlor guitar. I saw a listing that said parlor guitar, $300, and it had this picture. And it's just this beautiful old worn out wood, and the picture just struck me. I thought, man, that is beautiful. And I love guitars, but I love parlor guitars and old guitars. And it just really struck my curiosity, and the price was right. So I sent the guy a message, and we agreed to meet somewhere. We met at some strip mall that was really busy and loud, and he handed it to me, and I started playing it, and I can't really hear it that well, because it's loud outside. I said, hey, man, you mind if we get in my car? I roll up the windows, and I can hear it a little bit. And yeah, so we get in my car. I'm sitting behind the wheel, and I just kind of start strumming this thing, and it sounds beautiful. I mean, it really sounded beautiful, and unique, different sounding than some of the other guitars I have. And it played pretty good too. But I said, I'm not haggling with you. I want you to know that. I'm going to buy this. But I love stories. I love history, and I like to know something about this. What can you tell me about this guitar? And how did you find it? What do you know? How far back do you know about it? He said that he found it. That's the word that he used in Columbus, Ohio. And I really don't know. He was vague about where he got it. I'm guessing it was a yard sale or a junk store or something like that. But he said it was completely unplayable. It might not have even had strings on it. And he said he bought it, and he probably paid nothing for it. But he brought it home, and he said he reset the neck and fixed it up and got it playable. And I said, wait, are you a luthier? And he's like, no. He made a big point saying that he was a really nice guy. But he said it's a hobby of his to get old guitars like this and make them playable. And that's what he did. And then he turned around and sell it for whatever he can get. And I bought it for $300. And there's no way he made money on it. But I think it's beautiful that, we talk about recycling and things like that. He took this cool old instrument and made it playable again and made it useful. And somebody like me could have fun with it. So I'm sitting in the car and I'm looking, and I'm like, that's some pretty cool spruce. Because if you look look at the wood, it's just all dirty and stained from. You think of all of the people's hands that have touched this over 100 years or so, and it's just nicked up in all the right ways. And when I looked at the back, sitting in the car, I'm like, man, that's oak. And he's like, yeah. It's like, that's quarter sawn oak. That's old growth oak. You can't get this anymore. They don't, they cut down all the old trees, and they don't do that quite as much. When you get oak now, it's not the same. And you don't see oak on guitars that often either. This matches the woodwork in my house. The floors right here in my parlor are the same quarter sawn oak, and it struck me, and I thought this guitar needs to be in my parlor, in my house, and so I bought it from him. I took it home, and when I got home, I got to look at it, and there's a label inside here that it's faded and dirty, but it says Victoria, and down below it says B&J New York. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to start Googling that. So I start looking around, and Victoria, there's a company called, the initials are B&J. I'll try to put somewhere right down here the actual name of it, but I can't pronounce it because it's a German name or something. Maybe one of you can help me with the pronunciation. But that was the real company, and they would hire people to make these guitars, and like Oscar Schmidt and Regal, and then they would sell them under different names. Victoria was one of the names that they would sell it under. So this is a Victoria, but this, as I was looking, and the oak back is a big sign, but I believe this was made by Oscar Schmidt, and it's well over 100 years old. And these were very popular. People would sit in their, in their parlors and entertain people. Think about 1915. What are you going to do for entertainment when you're home or you have company over? There would be people with nicer homes. There'd be people, this probably wasn't that cheap. you know, when you bought it brand new, it probably would have cost a little bit, and you would have had to have a little bit of money to buy it. And this would have been probably I think a lot of women would learn to play the guitar, and they would play waltzes when company would come over, instrumental waltzes or even classical music or whatever, and it was the entertainment. I love that. And as soon as I brought it home, Amy was like, "Oh my God, that's beautiful," you know, and she started playing it. The size appealed to her. It feels really good in your hands. It felt good in her hands, and she digs it. It's a little bit shorter scale, and I don't know. I love that about it. I love the history of it. And I set it in here in my parlor, and I'm a big believer. I really am a big believer in guitars. I want guitars to just be sitting on a stand or, you know, out. I don't want them in their cases. I want them to be sitting there so that when you get the urge to play, there's no hurdles that you have to go through to play. You don't have to open up a case, get it out of the closet or out from under the bed or whatever. I like it to be right there. You can pick it up and start playing. You have an idea for a song, you pick it up and start working it out. If I was a single man, I would have a guitar on a stand in every single room of the house. And but Amy has different decorating ideas. But I keep it on a stand right here in the parlor. And I have an old 130-something-year-old Victorian house, and it has a parlor. And this is where I come in the morning and drink coffee. And my cat Frankie sits next to me, and when I think of something, I reach right over and I grab this guitar and I strum around on it. It's a beautiful thing. And I've written a couple songs on it already, and I love it. I love to think of all of the people who have played this over the years. You know, so many hands that have touched this, people that play probably much better than me, people that play much worse than me, but the entertainment that it has provided. And I don't know, so I'm going to keep this thing around. One other thing that's interesting to me about it, these have like a crazy mid-range to them, and it's really punchy. This guitar is extremely punchy, and any little noise that I make on this, you can hear. So it's kind of hard sometimes. At first, when I first started playing it, it was a little bit, it was hard to get used to all the extra noises that I would make. It's like I'm touching that very lightly with just my fingertips, and it just projects. So every little noise I would make, every string squeak would just be really pronounced. And that was a little bit hard to get used to, you know, but if I hit it with a pick or my fingernail, I mean, I'm not hitting that very hard at all, but it really makes a lot of noise. So I'm also realizing that there are people out there who know way more about this guitar than I ever will. You know, you're way down the rabbit hole and you have knowledge. It would be beautiful if you shared some knowledge about this with us. I'm guessing that we could all learn a little bit. Maybe I could learn a little more about my own guitar here. But if you have a parlor guitar that you dig, if you have just a couch guitar, what is it? Tell me down below. And I'm going to go play this thing, drink a little bit more coffee, and enjoy the day. I'll see you somewhere down the road. Much love to you.